Charlie White here, and I'm joined, as always on a Monday, by the great Jimmy Graham. How are you, brother?
Yeah, doing very well, thanks, Charlie. What a weekend it's been in NRL. Started with that Thursday night extravaganza with the Dogs taking down the mighty Panthers, and then the weekend finishes off with Tigers. Benji ball is alive and it is paying dividends.
They seem like the real deal, the Tigers. Jimmy, we're going to talk about that later, but before we bring in our co-host here for the day, we've got Brent Read with us. Before we go to him, we need to address something because we are recording this podcast 30 minutes late because Brent Read went to the Buy Rounds offices to do this podcast.
The message I got from Joel was a bit confusing.
Well, I'll just say this. Joel Harrison works for Triple M. He does not work for the Buy Round, has never worked for the Buy Round.
You give everyone a start in the Buy Round at some point. So when he said, the message simply said, can you do a podcast with Jimmy?
Yeah.
And when I think of Jimmy, I think of the Buy Round. So
okay.
that was my instant thought. So I headed to the Buy Round offices. And, of course, there was a dude in there.
Buy Round HQ.
I don't know who the dude who was in there, but he looked like...
Jordan Weir, great man.
No, that's Jordan.
He does work for the Buy Round.
He looked at me like I was a gibbering fool.
And I'm going to say another thing now.
And not because you turned up there. He just looked at
This further proves that Reedy doesn't care about producers, doesn't care about off-air people, because Jordan Weir produces the Friday 6 o'clock game, which Brent Read does sideline for most weeks.
Him.
You've never seen him. Did you do the Good Friday game with the Dogs? You did. On the sideline.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he was the producer of that game.
Was he there?
Yeah.
He was too. He's in the back. He was too.
There's a lack of...
Sorry, Jordan.
There's a real,
man. So disconnect.
A real disconnect, a real arrogance coming from Brent Read.
Oh, wow.
He's driving...
It's a bit like the Dragons. It's a bit disconnected.
It is, yeah. You're the Shane Flanagan.
Sorry, Jordan. Yeah, he was too there Friday. You're right, I remember him. Sorry,
Reedy
Jordan.
is a little bit like the Dragons. Like, you can look at moving on the head coach, but it's maybe not going to make a difference. So Reedy, he's got multiple areas in his life he needs to address. Maybe just needs to put a room through Brent Read.
My life's very confusing, guys. I've got a lot going on.
Sorry, not a room, a broom.
There's a lot going on, man. It's hard to keep track of it all.
With Botox appointments. Visits to the sauna.
This is defamatory. The sauna I do visit, but that's defamatory. The Botox.
How's the Tesla going? Does it drive well?
It does, right?
Yeah, you've lost touch with the common man, Reedy. You've absolutely lost touch. If you want to watch this show, you can. Just search Triple M NRL on YouTube. Every episode in full. You'll be able to see Reedy's beautiful Botox forehead.
Mate, there's no Botox. Can we stop this rumor?
You know... Reedy, how old are you again, Reedy?
56.
56. You look fantastic.
Thanks, mate.
Fantastic.
It's all natural.
All natural.
Went for a swim again this morning. It's salt water, Charlie. I keep telling you.
Yeah.
Cures everything.
It's beautiful this time of year as well, isn't it, the water?
Sensation.
Yeah. Speaking of beautiful, we've got a beautiful sponsor on the show.
No way.
Liquorland, Reedy, the great team at Liquorland have jumped on board.
How good are they?
They're so good. And another legendary week of footy is on the way. And the legends at Liquorland have been helping other legendary Aussies raise a glass for more than 50 years. Wow. Filling fridges for many a watch party and many an armchair warrior, like the great James Graham. He loves sitting back. What's your go-to drink, Jimmy, normally these days?
Anything.
They sell anything.
You know what? I'm about variety. I'm not about sticking with like one particular drink. Yeah, you've got your favourites. But you know what I do? I like going and seeing what's on specials.
Oh, yeah. I love the special rack.
Specials.
The 2 for $20 on the wines rack. When you go there, they got the shelf where you can go get some great wines there. So, whenever your team's running out onto the field, Liquorland's running out too with epic value and legendary drinks on your Liquorland. They are legendary.
Legends.
And I'm whispering because I want it now. Choose to drink wise. What a weekend of footy. The West Tigers, Jimmy, you just spoke about it. Are they the real deal?
Look, I think the next month of football will determine that. I think that the way they've started the season has been exceptional. I think the fact that they've overcome no Luai. I think in previous, he's only been at the club for a small amount of time, but we look at other examples. You lose your marquee player, you lose your most influential player, and things go downhill. There's not that over-reliance on Jerome. Especially not this season. The players that have come in have been fantastic. I think they're playing to a style that suits their personnel, that pass the ball, offload, go out and attack the game. Defensively, like the defense is helped out by their attack. They wear so much out of the opposition with the constantly asking questions, constantly moving the opposition defense around. That makes them suffer in attack. So it's a huge pass, beyond a pass mark for Benji's Tigers, but the next month of football is where the true test lies.
I'm a bit more optimistic than Jimmy, a bit more positive about them. I think
I
they're the
am-
real deal. I don't think we need to see the next month. I think we've seen enough to realise they are the real deal this year. I think the style of footy they're playing, Jimmy, you're right. They're fantastic to watch, and they demolished Newcastle yesterday. I was surprised. I thought that would be a really tight game because Newcastle's obviously been great to start the year, but the Tigers blew them off the park. And that's without, as you said, Jerome Luai and Taylor May, who in the pre-season apparently trained the house down and was in great nick. So they got a couple of blokes to come back into that team. They're going to get better. I think they will get better when Jerome and Taylor May come back and lock it in, baby. They're playing finals footy.
Top four?
It's done.
Top four.
Every chance. Every chance.
You
They're getting Brisbane a great time this week. And Brisbane got some players out, some cattle out. So
Well, they're the favourites. When was the last time the Tigers would have been the favourites against the Broncos?
a long time, Charlie.
Yeah, long time ago.
Long time
You
ago.
spoke about Luai coming back in. Well, where do they bring back in? Because
Well,
Jock
it comes
Madden,
No.
Jock Madden is killing. You can't drop Jock
Yes, you
Madden out
can.
of the team.
Of course you can.
You can and
what
you
are
do,
talking about? They were
and
playing
they
good
will.
footy before Luai was injured as well.
Surely Dewey goes to centres.
No.
No, Dewey 7, Luai 6.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mate, that
Jock
was-
Madden's been playing the halfback
He's
role
been
really
playing
for them.
great, but
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Jerome Luai, he's your marquee man. Your co-captain. I think they're the co-captains, aren't they? Him and Uppy? I can't
Well,
remember.
the Tigers' potential as a football side is increased with Jerome Luai in it.
Yeah.
And look, Jock Mann has done a fantastic job, like gone above and beyond the expectation from his coaches, players, the fans. But Luai, when available, comes straight back into that team.
I think you carry Madden on the bench, and Jock Madden on the bench, surely.
Mm.
It's ruined a great story this week, actually, because the Broncos are still paying the vast majority of Jock Madden's salary, and they're playing him this week. So it would have been a great story if he'd lined up against them this week. But obviously,
So Luai's back this week.
Luai's apparently going to come back this
Okay.
week by the sounds. He's very close to coming. Apparently, he wanted to play last week. Benji said no, but I'd imagine he's back this week, and Madden just goes back to 14.
Are you guys drinking the Benji Marshall Kool-Aid? I've drunk it. I'm
Yeah,
all
I'm
about
all-
Benji Ball. I'm all in on Benji Marshall. You look at guys like Kai Piss-Ball, he's come there, he's been incredible. Are you all in Jimmy now and Benji? Because at times last year you were critical of the Tigers and of Benji Marshall at times.
I don't know if I recall being critical of Coach Marshall.
I think
was
we-
critical
I think
of
I-
the Tigers at the time.
Have we got the
because-
audio? Can we play the audio?
if you've got the audio, please present the evidence to me. I don't believe I was critical of Coach Marshall. I think you've made that up. I think the organisation of the Tigers, rightfully so, was worth talking about. And not necessarily on the field. It was more the off field. And again, they started the season really well, and I was hesitant. Last year, they did exactly the same thing. For me, the jury is still out, and it was still out around about this stage last season, as it was the year before that as well. Like I say, I think, however, this year they're in a much better position to capitalise on the opportunity that they've earned, which is heading into finals football. But it is a long season, and they have faced injury concerns, but they're going to face some better opposition. And this style of football, it suits not only their personnel, but it also suits the way the game is being played in season 2026. So they put a lot of fatigue in their opposition with their attacking style of football.
I was critical of giving Benji an extension. I didn't think they had to do it at the end of last year. I thought it was premature, but in hindsight, it's a masterstroke, right? The way he's going, he's every chance to win Coach of the Year this year. If they continue on this path, if he can break that decade-long finals drought. So in hindsight, it's a smart move by the club to give him
Ivan
an
doesn't win it
extension.
again.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Well, you're only as good as your last game.
Yeah, put a line for crisis at the Panthers. Oh.
I think you weren't alone in that though, Reedy. Everyone in this show was critical about Benji
well,
getting that
it
extension.
didn't seem as though they needed to do it, Charlie, because no one was going to beat a path. No one was beating a path to Benji's door to try and steal him from them at that point. And the jury, Jimmy's right. The jury was still out in his coaching career. I mean, he'd done well. He got better every year, and there'd been improvement in that footy team. And I think this is the next evolution of that football side. They've just been getting better and better every year Benji's had them. And the next step is to play finals footy, and they're well and truly on their way there. And I think you can see that Benji, from what I've seen this year, he's going to be a long-term, really successful rugby league coach. He's just got a great temperament, and the players, and Jimmy, you know this better than me, but the players there seem to love him, and if the players love the coach, that helps.
Oh, absolutely. You can see that the players have all bought into Benji, what he stands for, what he brings, what he accepts, what he doesn't. It was interesting his post-game press conference about him saying he was disappointed with the final efforts, and that's a little bit about improvement. It's very smart move from Benji because everybody's giving them pats on the back, but he knows that this team will need to improve. He knows that there's tougher tests ahead, not just this month of football, but he is preparing to play finals with statements like that. He is putting that message to the group. We're not in this competition to just play this style of football. We're not here to finish ninth. We're here to finish in the finals, which means not conceding late tries like we did last week.
The big thing for them as well is the Origin period. They're going to be pretty much unaffected. Like, unless Appy Coruscant or Terrell May get picked in Origin, they're not going to have any other guys playing Origin. So, and both of those players are probably unlikely to be picked.
Luai on an extended bench, maybe.
Yeah, probably Luai on an extended
bench. Mitch isn't the best of form, so if Luai's playing well, maybe he's in the mix.
But again, they've proved they can handle life without Luai.
Correct. Yeah.
And blokes just step in, right? I mean, that's the other mark of a good footy team. And blokes, when you lose players, and blokes just step in and it's seamless, right? And he's making players better. That's the other thing. You know, Adam Dewey this year's been outstanding. We're going to talk about Kai Pearce-Paul. Man, I remember when, Jimmy, you know him from England, obviously when Newcastle signed Kai Pearce-Paul, I was expecting this. Like in England, they compared him to Sonny Bill Williams with his ball skills and we never really saw that in Newcastle. I was really disappointed with the way he went at Newcastle. I thought he was going to be a star, but I think we're starting to see now the real Kai Pearce-Paul, and Benji's brought that out because he's given him a bit more freedom. I'm not sure whether he was perhaps shackled a bit in Newcastle.
Well, I think when he first got to Newcastle, we saw signs of that.
Yeah.
And then due to the pressure and perhaps the way Newcastle was setting up to more of a focus on let's complete high, as opposed to promote the football, like put away that offload. And coaches and environments and situations can bring out the best and certainly have the ability to put the shackles on certain players. And that was probably a situational case for Kai Pearce-Paul when he was at the Knights over the past couple of years. But coming to the Tigers, I think that's probably why he chose to go there. He saw a coach that was willing to encourage that second phase football at almost all times and give him the responsibility of when to play, when to not play. And it's seen the best of Kai Pearce-Paul, certainly the best form of his NRL career so far.
This game was coined online the Kai Pearce Bowl.
Yeah.
And the Tigers are definitely the winners. On the Knights front, is this a worry, this loss, or was it coming, this performance, given all the players they've got out at the moment?
Well, they've overachieved this season, haven't they, so far? And look, I say this often about consistency. We demand it from everybody in every corner of life. But look, the NRL is an incredibly tough competition. I stupidly last week thought that and said publicly that the Panthers could be the Invincibles and minus a few games around Origin go undefeated. This comp is incredibly difficult. 5 years removed and you quickly forget. And then the timely reminder came on Thursday. It's incredibly difficult to remain consistent. We see some teams, the Bulldogs, for example, if they played like they did against Penrith, against the Knights, they easily pick up the 2 points, but it's so hard to do. Sometimes different opposition bring out the best and worst in you. Consistency is key. And the Knights, look, it's been a big start to the season for them with their level of intensity. And, you can forgive them, especially against the way Tigers that play the style that they do for dropping off and to an extent.
I'm not worried about them yet, Charlie, but they've got a tough 3 weeks coming up. I just looked at their draw. Roosters, Penrith, South, the next 3 weeks. They'll probably get Dylan Brown back this week, which will help. It'd be really intriguing to see what he does, actually, when Dylan Brown comes back, whether he drops Sandon Smith back to the bench or moves Fletcher Sharp to fullback, plays Dylan and Sandon Smith in halves. I think the issue with that is then Carlin's going to come back eventually. You've got to move Fletcher Sharp again. So it's going to be really interesting to see what he does with that footy team. But the next 3 weeks, huge for them. I mean, if they drop those 3 games, which is feasible, you're almost, I wouldn't say back to square one, but
no,
you're back in the mix in the middle of that pack to make the bottom of the 8. So it's crucial 3 weeks for them.
The other Sunday game, Eels got absolutely obliterated
smash
by the Titans. This was a drubbing of the highest order. Parramatta Eels just didn't show up for this one, Jimmy. They got a lot of injuries now. Junior Bowler was limping around during the game as well, but by all indication, he's going to be able to play next week. But it's a real tough start to the season for Parramatta.
Yeah, it was a Easter Monday hangover, wasn't it? Hey, we've all been there, guilty as charged. But yeah, the Parramatta Eels. Look, Mitchell Moses showed a tremendous amount of courage to face the music on Triple M. After the game, he was dejected. He denied the fact that Easter Monday played a part. And I understand why he said what he said, but for me, it was obvious that they were drained from that. And you flip over to the Tigers, who are full of beans, full of energy. That's what winning and losing does to a side and an organization. It can deflate you. It can make you grow that extra leg. It can give you the belief that you need to go out and dominate games, or it can really put you against the 8 ball like it did for Parramatta. And for them to concede 50 points. Look, Titans are a great side with the football, but they'll be bitterly disappointed with that effort. And it looks as though finals is going to be out of reach after a lot of people predicted that the Eels would show promise this year and challenge for the 8. I mean, some of that is the injury gods have not been kind.
I think it highlights the fact that a lot of teams don't. The depth's been eroded in the comp.
Mm.
You look at Melbourne, the way Melbourne are struggling, missing a couple of their big names, Coates and Katoa, Tui Kamikamica as well, and you can see they're battling. I mean, this Parramatta side's got no Iongi, no Russell, no Pezzett, no Simonson, no Hopgood at the moment, and they just don't have the depth to cover it. I think it's not just a concern for Parra, it's a concern for the game. You've got 2 new teams coming in, and the difference between the haves and have-nots, I reckon, is getting wider and wider at the moment.
The thing is, though, really, squad depth has always been an issue. Like, point to a year where, you've got, good quality first graders not playing. And this year, for example, in the centre position alone, Isaac Tango not playing first grade.
Yeah.
Timoko not playing first grade. Bronson Cherry for a moment there, not playing first grade. Britton Nickora, 20 minutes here and there off the bench. Marate Niokore at the Warriors, sometimes not featuring. Like, there's still a crop there of players. Any team that gets that amount of injuries that Power are going to get are going to struggle. Look at the Tigers. Like, they bring Patrick Herbert in, for goodness sake. Like, he hasn't played he played so well. But
do you think the rules highlight though, Jimmy, at the moment? Because once you lose control and momentum in a footy game, you just get overrun. And when your squad's not as strong, or you're forced to play players who aren't who are fringe first graders, I think the rules at the moment exacerbate the situation for you.
Potentially. Yeah, you could be onto something there, really. But like, it's always been a problem. Like, look, for me, I think the competition is in a great state. Like, look at some of the teams. Absolutely, I do. The 3 best teams, or the 3 favourites to win the comp, all lost in one weekend. That is the Penrith Panthers, the Brisbane Broncos, and the Melbourne Storm. That's a sign of a quality comp. And I think you look at some of the teams that are up in the top 4 at the moment. They didn't play finals last year.
Yeah. So, but is that a sign of a good competition or not? Like,
yes, it is.
Joel's put this stat together.
An unpredictable competition.
So 58 points a game was the average over the weekend. It's the second highest points scored round ever. I don't know if that's a good thing. Like, I don't know if we're seeing these.
Depends which side of the game you like, Charlie. If you like attacking high-scoring games, you love it, right? And at the moment, the ratings are up, apparently. So the punters seem to enjoy it. And it's what the NRL wants. They want entertaining, high-scoring games. Like that Brisbane-North Queensland game, that's manna from heaven for them. They love that stuff, right? Because that game was sort of gripping whilst, but not every high-scoring game's like that. I mean, the Roosters Cronulla game was a bludger on the weekend.
Yeah, I think what you want is unpredictability for me. Like, and you want games to go down to the wire, like the Broncos.
But you also want your team to have a hope, Jimmy.
Yeah, you want.
And some of those teams don't have a hope at the moment.
Well, yes. You know what? The Bulldogs finished with a wooden spoon in 2022. What year did the Broncos finish with a wooden spoon?
So the next year?
Was it 20?
No, not 20.
No. That's why it was 20.
So they under Seabolt, they got a spoon.
Was it 20?
19 or 20?
Was it 21 or 20 that the Broncos got a spoon? The Dogs have had a spoon in the mix. They're 2 teams that finished in the top 4 last year. So for me, that is a sign that, hey, your team can be down near the bottom. Look at the Tigers. Like,
Yeah.
you say you want hope, but I mean, week to week, tell me a competition on a sporting competition on the planet that like has all evenness about it. You're going to have some outliers that are really good and really bad every year in every sporting comp. But I think what's great about our comp is you get teams that are down near the bottom. It only takes 2 to 3 years before they're challenging for the top 4. And the two examples of that are the Broncos and the Dragon. Sorry, the Broncos,
Yeah,
the Broncos and the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs.
Yeah.
That in a time frame of 3 to 4 years, have gone top 4 or premiership winners.
Yeah, 2020 was the wooden spoon for the Broncos. Yeah, on the Titans front though, they just dominated this game. They just the Keanu Kinney made the Parramatta Eels team look like a reserve grade side.
He was very good. He hasn't been. He's actually been a bit down on form this year, I reckon, Keanu Kinney. But we saw the best of him: the footwork, the class, the speed. I mean, he is a game breaker when he's on. That's why they paid him so much money, the Gold Coast Titans. And Jaden Campbell played well again. He's been a bit off as well this year. And I reckon it feels like that's been at some point they were going to click the Titans, and they clicked on Sunday, admittedly against a pretty poor Parramatta team, but. There's good signs for them. Like if Kinney's playing well, Campbell's playing well, they've got a decent forward pack with Tino, young Cooper Bai look really good. They're going to win some footy games because they can score points.
Keeney put a magnificent move on Mitchell Moses. That was like, yeah, he done him there. He absolutely put a magnificent move on him. But the Titans in yesteryear would have been guilty of allowing Para back into this contest, as dreadful as Parramatta were. Like, did they kick the ball out on the first set of 6 or the second?
No,
set
it was Mitchell Moses.
Yeah, Mitchell Moses
put the bomb up and it went out. Yeah,
went out on the
first
foot,
or second set of 6. Yeah.
They just didn't help themselves, Para. But from what the Titans take for that game is, we know we can score points. That's never been an issue. They actually defended really well. Granted, Parramatta were off, but we've seen other examples. We've seen examples in the not too distant past of the Gold Coast, that game finishing 36-34 either way.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what happened after that game, and it involves our great mate Gordon Tallis, who supposedly is now this feud with the crisis manager Grant Grunter Williams has escalated. It's a funny one. I feel like this is such a nothing story. This is where the game becomes a bit like Women's Weekly at times, where it's
great
just
read.
Great, the Women's Weekly.
Great
You like
read.
it? Yeah.
Oh, love it.
Yeah. I only read the weekend read, the Brent Read.
Yeah,
Right,
thank you.
that's quality. That's quality
Class
stuff.
stuff, yeah.
But what's really going on here, Reedy? It's a bit bizarre, isn't it?
Well, I don't think Gordie's reaction's bizarre because obviously he's bumped into Grunter down the bowels of the Gold Coast Stadium. He's not happy with him because they've obviously gone to Grunter, I believe, went to
He did. Brisbane Broncos.
to
Fox, yeah.
about Gordie and some of his commentary around the club. And if I'm Gordie, if you go and see my boss about me, I'm not going to shake your hand either, and I'd probably give you a mouthful as well. So. Or a gobful. So I understand Gordie's reaction to it, and so it's a bit of a cluster. You know what? At the moment,
It is,
and I don't know. It just it's not a great look for anyone, really.
Well, look, if you're the crisis manager and look,
he's part of the crisis now.
Well,
he's managing himself.
The thing is, he's
going crisis.
For him to make comments around Triple M should not have allowed this. It's like. Who do you think you are? Like, you don't you are the Broncos crisis manager. You can tell Reece Walsh, Ezra Mam, Patrick Carrigan, Payne Haas, Michael Maguire what to say, what to do, what to engage with, and what not to on your social media or the traditional media. You do not get to decide what anybody else talks about. For him to say they shouldn't have allowed it, who do you think you are? Like, what? Who do you think you are to say that? No. It would have been a disservice to the listeners of Triple M for the Sunday article to come out and be that issue be highlighted in the Sunday column. Gordon Tallis appears on radio on Sunday afternoon and it not be spoken about. Is this man? He's got the audacity to say that they shouldn't be spoken about.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. It definitely should have been spoken about. And furthermore, for him to then come out and say that if he wanted to let it go, it could have ended there and then.
Yes.
It could have. So here's the element of control, but it's kind of like, no, I have to have the final say. Well, guess what? You don't, because now we're going to talk about your reaction to it. Unwise.
Did you get a phone call, Charlie?
I
or-
did. I was on the phone to Grant Williams and Dave Donaghy yesterday in the drive back, which was a fun, entertaining way to spend the 30-minute drive home from Parramatta. They weren't happy with how with us discussing it. But I mean, as I said to them, I said, that is the show we do. If one of the guys are in the headlines, we're always going to be up front and talk about it. We're not, you may as well face whatever everyone's going through. I think in their eyes, the version of what happened in Grant's eyes wasn't told. But like I said to him, mate, welcome to tell your story on Triple M anytime. So he's welcome to come on Triple M. I actually invited him on this show today, and he was going to speak to you guys, and he was it nearly happened, but it ended up not happening. But
He's done an Arsenal.
He's done it. Well, I won't say that. I won't say that.
Don't say that. Don't scar us, Jimmy.
Arsenal, they are on the slide.
We are.
No,
This is not a football podcast. I know what you're going to say. I know
The
what you're
B
gonna
with?
say. Yeah, the
no,
B
I
with,
can't
yeah.
use the B with.
Yeah.
I got in trouble for that.
Well, no, because I think, and he said that Triple M shouldn't have broadcast it. I think we're well within our rights to broadcast whatever Gordy wants to say.
Yep.
And Gordy, Gordy works with us, and we've got to take Gordy's version of events.
But you offered Grunter the chance to come on air.
Yeah.
That's all you can do, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And he can take it up or not.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
sounds like he decided not to take it up.
Yeah.
He's just lost 2-1 at home to Bournemouth.
In the grand scheme of stories, though, this is not a big story.
Oh, no.
This is very much like a storm in a teacup.
But Gordy's a big, they're a big club. Gordy's a big name in rugby league.
Yeah.
That's why it's a story.
Yeah,
And people
but
love
for
reading.
him-
You know what, Jimmy? This
yeah.
is the problem. It's not the problem. This is the world we live in. People love reading this stuff.
I know they do.
People click on it. They
That's
love
why
it.
I get the Women's Weekly every
Yes.
single week without fail delivered to my door because I
love
love
it.
reading about the gossip stuff.
Yeah.
But again, if you're Grant, the article comes out, Gordon says, why would you care?
Yeah.
I
you have
agree.
an
It's nothing.
why would you care? If that was about me, I'd go,
Well, the
whatever.
simplest way to stop it keeping going is to then just the worst thing you do is then react to it
Exactly.
because that leads to it continuing.
And finishing off your quote with, well, let's just put this to bed and move on.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's going to continue.
Yeah. Well, it's in the grand scheme
Lucky
of
he's a
things.
crisis manager
Yeah.
because it's another crisis.
Another crisis. Yeah, that's right. That's right. We're going to get to a quick break. We'll be back shortly on Triple M NRL Daily. Now, a huge thank you to Liquorland who have jumped on board. We absolutely love you guys, and it's an incredible place to go get your booze, Reedy.
So good.
So
Love it.
good. We've got a legendary week of footy coming up, and the legends at Liquorland have been helping Aussies raise a glass for more than 50 years, filling fridges for many a watch party and many an armchair warrior like yourself, Reedy, in the man cave
Can't beat it.
that you got there in your palatial mansion on the northern beaches. So whenever your team's running out onto the field, Liquorland's running too with epic value and legendary drinks on your Liquorland. They are legendary. Drink-wise. Now, guys, let's talk about the Perth games on the weekend. The doubleheader. 33,000 people showed up, Reedy.
Yeah.
You said it was a bludger between the Sharks and the Roosters.
Terrible game. I think it was 25 errors. 15, I can't remember, 18
There was a
penalties
lot.
or something.
You kind of
A host is
lost.
10-6
Yeah.
against. It was a shocking game to watch. Like watching it, I think I said yesterday on the show, with 10 minutes to go, I had to go out to dinner, and my wife said, let's go. And normally I'd say, no, let's wait. I just said, let's get out of here. I can't watch any more of this game. It was so bad. I missed the last, the result basically.
Stop
but
using the football as an excuse.
It was
You were always, you
I was keen to go out, you think?
I reckon you
I
were
thought,
keen to get on the syrup, or
No.
what Mrs. Reed says.
I actually
goes.
I took it very easy, Jimmy, because I've been to Liquorland, so my house was stashed with alcohol. So, but no, it's a terrible game. But it's obviously a good win for the Roosters, and Daly had an impact on that match, which is important for him because he's been a bit up and down to start the year, but it looks as though he's finally finding his groove. And the Sharks continue to be all over the shop. Can't get a read on the Sharks. They're just so inconsistent. So, bludger of a game, but good win for the Roosters in the end.
Like Roosters, Sharks, Raiders, Souths, Dogs, to name but a couple. They're all like fancy. Brisbane, throw them in there as well. They're all fancy to potentially challenge at the back end of the season. But again, I use that word consistency. Like the Sharks, they can go within a game of football, look like world beaters, look like they could challenge for a title and then fall into a hole. They are a strange team
so
together.
hard to read, Jimmy.
They
so
are
hard to read.
maybe like a lot of teams, they're focusing on getting right come September. They'll be disappointed. Like last week against the Warriors, they were phenomenal for 60 minutes and they had lapses in concentration. But against a team like the Roosters, they're going to make you pay. And the Sharks don't want a reputation for being a team that can be like that, because with the game the way it is, really, sometimes, if you go behind against, let's say, Penrith, look, this is going to be a nightmare. Only the Broncos managed to do that last year. But if you're playing against the Sharks and you go behind, like the Roosters did, you've got a belief. You can have a genuine conversation behind the sticks and say, boys, they're going to give us an op here. Which is a reputation you do not want to be carrying around with you.
And Fitzy, their coach, Craig Fitzgibbon, would hate that reputation, that inconsistent reputation, because as a player, he was one of the most consistent players you ever come across. Consistent trainer, consistent player. And I'd imagine he would love a team that embodies what he was as a footballer himself.
Put them to the sword.
Tough, uncompromising, consistent. And they're so far from that at the moment, Jimmy. It must drive him nuts.
I'm with you.
On the Roosters side of things, I'm a little bit worried about the Roosters. Just as a Roosters fan, all the hype was about them. Roosters fan, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, to be honest, I've worked in rugby league now for so long, I don't really give a toss if they win or lose. But if I was a very passionate Roosters fan, I'd be a bit worried, because they were labelled as premiership threats, and they look a real rung below the teams like Penrith.
Well, again, they've just been all over the shop, consistency-wise. And again, they played, was it Manly they played in the wet at Brookie, at 4 Points Park, hardly made a mistake, were really disciplined after we talked about their discipline for the opening 2 or 3 weeks of the year. And then they come out again at the weekend and they win, right? But their discipline, their errors, it was just back to the bad old Roosters, right? It's just, they're lucky that the Sharks are worse. But so, I'm not convinced by the Roosters.
You know what, really? I'm just thinking back. I've been a part of teams like that need a daily reminder to be disciplined with and without the football. And you for 1 week, the coach is drilling you and you respond, and then you think the problem's solved. And then the next week you go out and you make a heap of errors and you give away penalties. And, sorry, coach, we forgot our weekly reminder. It's almost like you have to drill it into them. But, and teams talk about identity and stuff like that, really. I don't think it's in the Roosters' identity or style to be conservative in their approach. They're a team that are going to take chances. And some days, everything will stick. Some days it won't. I think that's the roll of the dice that you get with...
But can you win a comp plan like that, Jimmy? I don't think you can win a comp plan like that, can you?
But with their half in
because
Sam Walker,
some point,
I don't think
things will come unstuck when
maybe
when it's really important.
Well, maybe it's like the old Warriors teams, right? That you thought when they play. Remember, within the past 2 decades, Warriors have had teams that really offload the football and play that style, and it's got them to grand finals before, but they've never been able to do it for 4 weeks on the spin. And that's going to be the challenge. But what you do as a team, as a club, you back yourself that it will make marginal improvement on our error rate throughout the season, and they've shown at different times they can do that. So it's about, for the Roosters, like a lot of teams, they're still a work in progress for how they will look come September.
Is there any pressure on Trent Robinson if they don't win the premiership or compete for the premiership this year?
There will be, I imagine, if they don't compete for it. If they made the grand final, lose the grand final, I don't think.
What if they're in the bottom 2 spots in the top 8, come 7th or 8th, and they bundle out week 1?
Well, there's pressure. There'll be pressure. I'm not sure there'll be enough to make a move on the coach. I mean, I think that club and Nick Politis are really supportive of Robbo, and he's won 3 comps. He's been one of the great coaches of the past 20 years or whatever. So, I don't think he's under immense pressure, but if they get bundled out week 1 of the finals, then it just intensifies a bit going into next year.
It's their longest drought between grand finals of the NRL era.
Wow.
Haven't played in a grand final since 2019.
Good stat.
No, that's what I do. All thanks to Lickland.
Yeah.
Choose to drink wise. Jimmy, any final thoughts on the Roosters before we move on?
No, happy to move on.
Happy to move on. All right. The other game was obviously South Sydney against the Rabbitohs in Perth. South Sydney against the Raiders in Perth. It was a strange old game, wasn't it? Really, Raiders got out to a big lead, and the Rabbitohs came back. Got
They
the
can
lead.
throw a lead away, the Raiders.
Oh yeah,
Been doing it all year.
Yeah,
It was
They
like
just needed to win.
yeah.
That last play, you could just imagine what was going through Ricky Stewart's head. They needed to find a way to stop Souths. They managed to do that. A huge 2 points, because had they have gone 1 and 5, it's getting like it's getting like we're going to miss the 8 here. But huge 2 points for them. Yes, they host Melbourne and they're going to have difficult games, but the Raiders just needed a victory. I thought KO Weeks, that try that he scored was sensational, especially after coughing up a pretty simple error. I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah. The next few weeks are interesting for the Rabbitohs. They've got an easy game against the Dragons, and they got the Storm, Knights, Sharks, Dolphins. So they've got toughish games over the next 5 weeks. Where are they at, the Bunnies? They're a hard team to get a read on.
I thought they were looking really good until the weekend. They were just so poor defensively on the weekend. I thought they were looking, and they now lost Jai Gray for an extended period as well. So it'll be interesting to see what Wayne does there, because obviously he can play Latrell at fullback, but Matt Duffy's been flying in New South Wales Cup. They'd have to get dispensation for him to play. I'm not sure they get it because they can play Latrell at fullback, but that is an option for them.
Is there any other options at fullback? Campbell Graham,
Alex
Johnston's played a bit of fullback in his career. Jack Whiten's played a little bit of fullback at times.
I mean, Alex and Latrell are the obvious ones. Latrell's the obvious one, right? And you just move Campbell Graham in the centres and bring someone on the wing. But as I said, Matt Duffy's been flying in New South Wales Cup, and they're playing the Dragons this week. That'd be a good story. That'd be cheer the story. Always cheer the story, Jimmy.
Yeah. Ex-Bulldog Matt Duffy plays fullback.
Ex-Bulldog as well.
He is.
Yeah, right. So did you play from the Dogs and the Dragons?
No, just the Dragons.
Yeah, nice.
He's been flying, man. I saw him at the game. I can't remember who they played at a call a couple of weeks ago. Bulldogs.
Yeah.
And I think he scored 3 tries in New South Wales Cup that day.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, it's been
very
killing
good.
it. Duffy, what a story.
Great story.
You like that story?
He goes all right.
He's interesting. Cat told Matt Duffy.
He is.
Did you enjoy playing with him?
I enjoyed spending time with Duffer.
Yeah.
He's a bit different, isn't he?
He is. He's a lot of fun, though. He's a lot of fun.
Okay.
We had a bit of a personality clash.
Okay.
I had all the personality. He had all the clash.
Well, he managed to get a try on the weekend as well, and the Bunnies absolutely put the cleaners through Parramatta yesterday.
Wow.
So stay tuned on that. Let's talk about the Melbourne Storm. Now, what's going on with the Storm, guys? Is the dynasty over?
It looks that way, Charlie, but based on the past 3 or 4 weeks, I mean, they've been awful, and they were awful again on the weekend. And the Warriors were good. Let's give the Warriors some credit, but it's just so un-Melbourne. Like, defensively, they've been so poor, and you can see Craig's frustration with it all at the moment. And they're looking some trouble. They need to win this week. I mean, I don't think they've got a great record against Canberra either. I think Ricky's one of the few coaches in the game who's got a great record against Craig. So it's going to be tough, man. If they're 2 and 5, there's dead set alarm bells going off.
They look very, very vulnerable, don't they?
And
they look out of answers. I've seen the Storm struggle in games and just find a way to get a win. I think there was a game actually against the Warriors. Was it last year where they won on the bell? Or the year before? Was there that ridiculous try
year before,
was it Coates that scored?
Coates in the corner.
Yeah, in the corner.
Crazy. One of the best tries ever scored.
Yeah. So, like, they've had games like that where they've flirted with danger, but they've always had enough brilliance to get them out of it. But they just looked devoid of answers for what the Warriors were bringing, and they got bullied through the middle. Look, we know they've been in the market for outside backs. We know that they've lost Nelson, Eli Katoa, Kamikamitha. They probably need some forwards there to sort of harden up a little bit. Maybe Hetherington comes in. I'm a big fan of him just being thrown out there to intimidate opposition. I wouldn't be surprised for them to enter the market for both outside backs and potentially some middle forwards. I think, Coach Bellamy might just be given a rocket. He give a rocket to Joe Chan. I think he might have a quiet conversation with Stefano about we need you to lead and really drag some of these players with you as well.
In terms of going to market, are you saying trying to get players for this year?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So immediately this season.
Well,
They got a Saka coming there next year to replace Will
Yeah,
Warbrick.
but that's one out, one in.
Yeah.
And I think they'll be looking at making moves for this season because they know it's salvageable and they know they've got two of the best position players in the spine and then one of the top three players in position in their spine as well. So Coach Bellamy understands that they're in certainly what would be considered a window. They just need a little bit of help.
Do you reckon, Reedy, they're just struggling with all the players they've lost this season as well for injuries?
I think in terms of the importance, like Eli Katoa was elite, one of the best back rowers in the comp, top three, Jimmy, Eli Katoa.
I'd
and
say
they haven't really replaced him.
He got Dalium of the Year last year.
Yeah. Anyway, he's a
he
was huge for them, right? And Xavier Coates obviously a big loss as well. So I think it's not just it's the quality of players they're missing, Charlie, and the lack of quality to replace those guys. Tui Kamakamitha's missing as well. Like that's again, he's a good footballer, Tui Kamakamitha. So, but they've still got Harry Grant, Cam Munster, Jerome Hughes, Stefano, Sewer, Nick Meaney, Will Warbrick. They've still got a good. When you look at that footy team, it's still a really good football team.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Coach Bellamy is so frustrated because
that's the concern, right? I mentioned Ricky's record. It's actually not that good. He's won 11 of 33 against Craig, which is pretty good.
Pretty good
for
by
most coaches against Craig, but he's lost most of them. But yeah, I think it's more. You look at that football team, and you would expect them to be doing a lot better than what they are. And I think that's been a hallmark of Craig's sides over the years. He's always got the best out of them. And at the moment, they're not at their best. They're well short of their best, and that's the worry for me.
I think the frustration for Melbourne as well is that they would look back at last year, the grand final, that what could have been. Is the potential for scars from that really? We
two
saw
in a row. Two in a row,
not
Jimmy, right?
not just two in a row, but I think back to that Brisbane side in 23, that they had the hangover from hell after that. Lost to Penrith that they had that game won, right?
Yeah.
And I think Melbourne maybe look back and go, God, if Kamakamitha scores that try, we win. If perhaps, if Reece, if we manage to show and go on Reece, we score, we win. Like, I wonder how much of that is maybe on the minds, and then you lose in extreme circumstances, Katoa. Paps and Nelson, that was all agreed. And then you see for the first time, like in a long time, Melbourne miss out on somebody. It was Zach Lomax. It was out of their hands.
Yeah.
But it was missing out. And I wonder if that's maybe dented the confidence as well, because can't ever recall them ever missing out.
No, they normally get blokes, don't they? I wonder if the traumatic nature of Katoa and Tui's impacted them as well. Both those.
Absolutely, it would as a teammate, 100%. Yeah,
and they're still around the footy team, right? You see, Eli Katoa's there all the time. So, I don't know. Craig's a smart coach, so I'm sure he'll find a way out of it.
If you want a bit of positivity for the Melbourne Storm fans, they actually lost 5 games in a row in 2012, and they finished second on the ladder that year.
All right.
So that was during the Origin period, though, that losing streak. So,
and they've still got that to come, isn't it? Like that they're going to lose Grant Munster, and we can speculate about potentially others, but without those two, their chances of winning significantly reduce.
We said the Tigers are the real deal, but are the Warriors the real deal?
Well, I think they are. I think the way they started the year had a little blip, but now they're back on song. I think they are the real deal. Yeah, I think they. Good forward pack, halves are playing well. They've got all the ingredients there. I'm not sure they're going to win the comp, but I think they're definite top eight team.
Oh, I think top 8, but I think they're in that pack of teams and clubs that, 2 or 3, one or two might break away, and they're in the mixer with it.
You know what's really important for them? Finishing top 2. If they can somehow get second spot, then they don't have to come to Sydney until grand final. That would be the goal for them. Get top 2, win week 1 of finals,
absolutely,
home prelim, and then you're in the grand final.
Yep.
Yeah. That's all you have to say about them, though, boys. Don't want to talk about too much, do you? Jimmy hates the Warriors. So
does he? Why?
Yeah, he just hates
them.
I just can't say anything positive
what they
about
do to
them.
you?
I don't.
Does he bag them all the time?
I think he had some head noise from trips to Danny Doolan's over the years.
Whatever
that was called, I
don't know what you're talking about. I think their forwards, that was one of their best performances, but they've got blips in them. And, they're going to figure out how Metcalf comes back into that team. you mentioned top 2. I think realistically top 4 is possible, but there's a host of other clubs. It's round 6. They're in that pack. They're in that chasing pack, and they're probably leading the chasing pack. But in 2 weeks' time, they could be at the bottom of that pack as well.
It's a bit like the Jerome Luai debate for me, the Luke Metcalf one. He's just come straight back in.
Really?
He's too good a player to leave
Yeah,
out.
I'm with you. Metcalf does. He's not as good. He's not as good or as influential as Luai, and especially Luai being like really loved by the group and a natural leader there. Metcalf having a lot of time away. Look, he will get back into the team, and they might have to go through a figuring out stage with him in what it looks like, but they play their best football with Metcalf in the team.
But just because he's the highest paid player, Metcalf,
No,
needs to be
because
back in the
he's-
team.
He's one of the
No.
best players.
He's one of the
But
best
they're
players.
going. Chanel Harris-Tavita is killing it. He's done a
Yeah.
great job, and the combination of how Tanner Boyd looks as well alongside Chanel
That's why I
Harris-Tavita.
say they need to figure it out, Charlie, and they will. They hope.
Have you got a mail for us, Reedy? Do we dare play your opener? Have you
No.
got? We won't play the
I
opener for
didn't-
this one.
It
All right,
was
we
a
won't-
late call up, and
No,
I went to
okay.
the wrong studio. I didn't.
Oh, we don't do mail.
I was doing
we
the
don't do
bar-
any
the
mail.
bar
on the
round.
back.
He hasn't got
Yeah.
mail, yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess I'll tell you what we've
Just
got.
make it up.
I'm gonna
Oh,
say-
do you want me to do your mail? Remember
Oh, here we go.
on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Mondays
yeah,
we used
yeah.
to do that. I'm just hearing Jerome Luai and the clause. We're expecting an announcement within the next couple of months.
Still
on
haven't
what
got an
he's,
announcement, Jimmy, on that
Yeah,
clause
but
as
we're,
well.
the
There won't be an
sources
announcement on that.
sources are telling me it's going to be
No.
expected soon. Perth Bears, they're obviously in the market. A couple of they're gonna meet next week. Expect for them to be final on what the situation with the GM of football and CEO is. So hold on to your hats with that. Also, I'm hearing that they are looking at some marquee players from one of the big Sydney clubs.
Ooh, who you got, Jimmy?
Look, it's in its embryonic stage at the
Oh, you
moment.
can't talk about
So look, but expect this to be headline news
Oh, hold on.
if and when they land. They are serious about making this particular player not just the marquee, but billboard level stuff.
I'm going to ask you a few questions.
There's
That's
Reedy's mail
brilliant.
for it, mate.
That was
There,
good
there we
mail.
go.
Great mail.
Very good.
Yeah. On expansion, also I forgot to. I spoke to someone at the NRL today.
Yeah.
They're telling us they're happy with 19 teams, and they're going to look at the possibility of another Queensland team coming in or a second New Zealand team. So
Okay.
yeah, that's the sources from
Good
the
mail.
NRL.
And would that be the Western Corridor, Jimmy? The Ipswich?
Look, the NRL love it. They love the Western Corridor. It's going to be a big battle between
cynicism.
that Western Corridor, the
Bit of
Ipswich,
sarcasm, this.
and this Christchurch team. Interesting. They weren't too impressed with the
Christchurch
Christchurch bid originally, but with new investors, anything is possible.
New
So,
information could change that. It's a really fluid situation, so we'll keep you posted on that.
Yeah, we
Good
will.
mail that. Genuine, I'm going to ask you about some different player movement things.
Oh, okay,
You just
here
give
we
me your
go.
top line thoughts on it.
Yeah, okay.
Jaden Seward at Parramatta, done deal.
Done deal, yeah. Done deal.
For next year or any chance it could go this year?
I wouldn't rule him out going this year, yeah.
Okay. Now, Murata Niakure has officially joined the
Done.
Newcastle Knights
Yep.
today. That came out. Good
Yep.
signing for them.
For this year.
No, for next
No.
year.
Oh,
Signed a
awesome.
3-year deal, yeah.
They paid a lot of money for him. He does miss a little bit of footy, Murata. I don't know. Peter O'Sullivan got him to the Warriors, I think. He's a big fan. He
Right.
has been for a long time. So
I like
he's
him.
got his man.
Just where he fits in the back row.
Back row, yeah.
You've got obviously Lucas and McEwen.
McEwen. He probably plays instead of McEwen, maybe.
Yeah. Or does he come at lock?
Sure,
Big-
I like
he's a big-
McEwen. McEwen's a
Yeah,
good
I
young
like
player,
McEwen.
man.
Yeah, maybe Niakore comes in at
Maybe.
at
He's been
lock.
playing lock Croker, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Croker?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Maybe. he
adds a
plays
bit of
lock then.
competition. They need middles, Newcastle.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
they've
He's aggressive.
they've gone above and beyond
Yeah.
at the moment, but they're still light.
Your
Yeah.
man Travis Main has said that Murray Tuolangi's been shopped to the Roosters for next year. So there's a little bit of a clean out happening there at the Cowboys. Scott Drinkwater's been
There
tapped
was
and
a
now
little bit,
Murray as
yeah,
well.
Yeah. I think that is right too, actually. Travis knows what he's doing. I think that's spot on.
So you think could go to the Roosters,
I
or you
there's
think that's
every
just a not?
chance.
There's every chance.
No, I think there's every chance he does, yeah.
Good mail that.
Good man.
That was good, Mark.
Matt Burton potentially an extension at the Dogs, closing in on that.
I'll believe this when I see it, Charlie.
Okay.
Because he's on a
Ooh.
lot of money. And depends where he's going to play, right, long term. This issue's been the same issue that it's been for a year. It depends where he ends up playing, whether Mitch Woods comes through, whether Galvin goes to 6, whether Burton's a centre. If he's a centre, do you pay him what he's on now? Probably not, right? Because you can't have 2 centres on $1 million. So, yeah,
Well,
that's what they got to work out.
Hey, go back to Jammer's Mail.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Big name.
Big name coming soon to Perth.
From a Sydney
From
club.
a Sydney club.
Okay.
Billboard style.
You think
mean-
Burton's Perth bound?
I can't reveal.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing Jimmy's Mail here.
Yeah.
If I'm the Dragons,
I can't be. Hey, I didn't.
if I'm the Dragons, I'm having a red hot go at Matt Burton.
Yeah.
If he's available on November 1. Big time.
I like that one.
Oh, you don't like that or not?
Only getting drinking water.
Why can't they get them both?
Good question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Just
hey, put 2 and 2 together. They've said they're getting more marquees, maybe Drinkwater, Keon, and Matt
Keane
Burton.
as well, yeah.
See-
Ooh, that'd help.
I said this in the buy round that Perth need to be given a 25% salary cap bonus because they could get someone like Scott Drinkwater's available now. We all accept that as a fact.
Yep.
They could go give Scott Drinkwater 1.2 million if
But
they
that'd
had
be
if,
insane.
no, if they had an extra 25% of their cap, it wouldn't be
What, so
insane.
you're wasted on a bloke
You're
who's
paying
not
him.
worth it?
He's worth about $900,000 a year. He's worth. You can give him an extra 25%.
You reckon he's worth 900?
But that's what he's going to get at the
Yeah.
Dragons. And I think for a team like Perth, he's definitely worth that.
Mm.
You know, he's a creator. He can make there's not much else going to Perth at the moment.
No. Perhaps.
Final one, the
Mm.
Melbourne Storm have been linked and they're apparently monitoring the Gehemet Shibasaki situation.
Yeah. Yep, again, I understand that to be true. Yeah, they need
Okay.
outside backs.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It depends what his manager wanted. Apparently his manager wanted over 600 for him. He's not worth over 600, particularly the way he's going at the moment. You disagree?
Well, salary cap's going to jump from 2028. You'd only have him on 1
We're
year on
talking
600.
for next year, though.
Yeah, I know, but you give him a 3-year deal. The years 2 and 3 might look pretty healthy.
I don't know. I think it's a risk giving him 600, but anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I just got one more bit of mail.
Oh,
just
you got more mail?
Just hearing from.
He's just got a text.
Just got just got a text.
Yeah.
The rights deal. It's going to be record breaking and should be within the next 4 months.
Okay.
We'll have the
What's some announcement there?
the
Bit of
next
clarity
2 to
there.
3 months, I think,
Two-
Landy said.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
right.
Well, my mail saying my tea a little bit longer, just due to the complexities.
You got that
of it.
text
yeah.
a month ago.
Yeah, no, because some there's some
Has it got,
potential overseas.
Did it tell you who's getting it? Who's getting the rights? or-
No. Look, there's some new platforms in the mix, which could
Yeah.
drive the price up. And a potential even they're talking about a Monday Night Football coming
Wow.
back.
Oh,
Like they're
wow.
talking about it,
Yeah.
which
I
obviously
saw
would
that.
just be
Did
huge.
Danny write about that in the weekend? Monday
No,
Night Footy?
no, it's me breaking it here live on this
So
show.
I think someone wrote about it in the weekend.
No.
Monday Night
You
Football.
can't
where?
claim old mail, mate.
Channel 7, Monday Night Football.
Well, it could go to a podcast
They're
stream.
talking about Monday for
You-
next year, though, aren't
you
they?
don't-
Is that what
Yeah,
I read? Did I read that?
That's what I'm telling you, really.
Yeah.
No, you're not reading it, you're hearing it. The Overlap bought the Bundesliga rights. They're talking the buy round potentially buying Monday Night Football rights live and
Sorry.
exclusive on the buy
No,
round.
it's the year after. Sorry, it's when P&G come in, 28. Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, 28. Sorry, not next year. What are you talking about?
Let's talk about the topic that is probably going to be the
Jimmy
main
threw me
story.
then with his mail.
Yeah,
His mail through me.
yeah. Mates, you've been
All this
spending
expansion talk.
I mean, you've come in here without a
TV
mail.
rights
We've
talk.
given you a handball mail segment
yeah.
where we've given you the stories and just asked you to react to them, and you're still getting
We
rattled
should do
in
rather
this.
than a mail. Why don't we do a Q&A thing? Why don't you
Really?
ask for fans?
Yeah, great idea.
Send in the questions.
Comment on YouTube, comment on Spotify, get
Yeah.
your questions because you're on tomorrow as well, so we can answer your
well,
questions
that's the questions, yeah.
Dragons, Shane Flanagan. That's the big story, Reedy, at the moment,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Shane Flanagan. When does he get sacked? Your mail at the moment
Oh, no.
is when is he getting sacked in your eyes?
Well, there was reports of the board meeting this Tuesday. There's not a board meeting this Tuesday. There's a board meeting the following Tuesday, which is after the South Sydney game. Now, you would imagine they're going to lose to South. They'll be 0-7. Then they've got the Roosters, Anzac Day, 0-8. And if there is a move, I imagine the move will come after the Anzac Day game because they got the bye after that, which makes sense. So that's the more logical thing for me. As far as I understand, I spoke to people yesterday. They said there's no change at the moment. There's no plans to make any change at the moment. But if they're 0-8, I mean, your hand's almost forced, right? And the bye makes it the most logical time to make that sort of call.
Jimmy, I want to ask you as a Dragons legend, a guy who played in that Anzac clash and it would mean a lot to you, the fact that they're not going to try and make any action to change the outcome of the team before that game, what do you make of that?
It means a lot, this game, to that club and the fans and the supporters. I think it'll disappoint them to to hear that they're going to wait for that. Look, maybe it's coincidence. I don't know. But that game meant a lot to me as a player. It was a very, very special moment. To play in 2 Anzac Day clashes. It was devastating when you couldn't play during COVID. And that was one that really hurt, missing that game. So, it's not doing them any favors that they're just waiting to or willing to wait potentially for post Anzac Day. Like, it's not going to save the season, but it could give them something to cheer about.
Exactly. Like, say they'd lose this game to the Bunnies and they move on from Flanagan. They're bringing a different coach. We saw the boost it gave Manly. Imagine it gives them a boost going to that Anzac Day. They get the win there. Then they've got the bye, the week off to just try and work on this new system that they're going to be
Well, they do
building.
have a board meeting the Tuesday after South. So that's before the Anzac Day game, right? So,
I think they'll be tempted to make. Look, I hate talking about this, but it's a part of the business. It's a part of the industry that coaches get sacked and moved on. So, look, every coach that's coaching the teams now will get moved on in some capacity. For me, the Dragons, with the way the season's gone, they get a free hit on Innes or Young to have a look at what they bring to the table as a coach. Risk-free, free hit. They can see what that happens. Just like Manly have maybe accidentally done. That Manly may look at it as like, oh no, we're still saving our season. They made that call at 0-3 for that reason. Dragon season's gone. They can't play finals. They're fighting to avoid the spoon. Whether they get it or not is either way. But what they do have an opportunity to, if they move on from Flannery, is have a free hit with one of these young coaches to see what they're about.
Yeah. It's interesting now, the Dragons, what's next for Shane Flanagan, because it's become a coaching graveyard. Hook Griffin would never be considered for a head coaching job. He was the most recent coach before Shane. And before that, Mary McGregor, who seemingly would never be considered for a head coaching job either.
I wouldn't rule Flanno getting another rule out Flanno getting another opportunity as head coach. He's won comps. That gives him an advantage over those blokes straight away. And I think he's a good coach, right? I mean, he's shown that. Obviously hasn't shown that at the Dragons, but history suggests he's a very good coach, and I think he'll get another chance at some point.
And also, like, I think the issues at the Dragons, the buck doesn't stop with their coach.
No,
like,
and it won't, Jimmy. That's the thing.
I
That's
think
part of the reason they're
yeah,
taking their time,
yeah.
I think.
And sometimes a coach's reputation when they leave a club can actually enhance. You look at Justin Holbrook, for example. He leaves the Titans, Hasler comes in, he couldn't turn it around. And all of a sudden, Justin Holbrook, everyone goes, oh, wow, he took them to finals. Like, maybe the same would be said about Flanagan if and when he moves on.
Just finally, Cowboys, it's been the opposite for Todd Payten. The players have played for him. They've won 4 games in a row now, and they're flying, Reedy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because 4 weeks ago we were talking about him being the first coach sacked. But he's turned it around. They're having a red hot go. Jason Tomalalo's been outstanding. Purdue's a star. But I don't think there is any rush to extend his contract. I mean, he's off contract at the end of the year. And I don't think that club's – what's interesting, right? That club's not in any rush to hand him a new deal, which, if you're Toddy Payten, is a concern.
Well, I think they said till round 10, didn't they? Like, that was the talk within the town that they're going to make a bit of a call at round 10, see how they're going at the moment. They're trending in the right direction.
I reckon that was whether they get rid of him or not, though. I don't think that was whether to extend him or not.
Well, if they keep playing this way, their hand's going to be forced, and Payton otherwise will smell the rat and go, well, what are you guys doing here?
Yeah.
Like, if they keep kicking, keep winning, Payton's going to be asking the question, why won't you just give me the deal? I'm getting the results. What more can I do? How can this situation improve?
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
No doubt.
Well, Brent, we'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you go to the right studio tomorrow.
I go to the right place, man. I'll do my best.
360 tonight.
Bring those questions. Yeah, 360 tonight.
Yeah, we'll have plenty of questions for you.
Bit of drama. Gordy will be on again.
Yep. Gordy v. the Spin Doctor. Could be a bit of fun. Jimmy, great to see you as always, my friend.
Pleasure, Charlie.